Okay, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging headfirst into, the pretty wild and captivating world of meme coins. You know, those crypto assets born from internet culture, often driven just by community feeling. We're really zeroing in on two big ones, PEP and meme. And our mission for you, it's to unpack their complexities, try to navigate some of the hype, and understand the core challenges they face, especially around things like brand dilution and this really interesting split between, let's say, purity and utility. So, okay, let's unpack PE first. This thing just like exploded onto the scene, right? Famously stating it's, quote, completely useless and for entertainment purposes only. But then it hits this multi-billion-dollar valuation, purely cultural. How does something supposedly useless get so valuable? And, what are the immediate risks if you're thinking of diving in?
Yeah, that's fascinating, isn't it? And that's precisely where the main risk kicks in, this brand dilution. What's really, kind of astonishing is just the sheer number of copycat tokens out there. You've got PP PP, Trump, even versions popping up on Solana and Base now. And look, this isn't just confusing theory. It leads to actual, real financial losses, people buying the wrong PPE. So the absolute critical point, like the number one takeaway for anyone listening, has got to be verify the canonical Ethereum contract address. That's 0x6982.311933. Seriously, without checking that, you're basically walking into a minefield.
Right, a minefield. And we've certainly seen some serious turbulence lately. PP's had this pretty substantial 30-day drop. What was it? Anywhere from like 26.6% down to, wow, a 36% loss. For an asset that's supposed to be purely driven by sentiment, by narrative, what does that kind of volatility tell us right now?
It absolutely signals a struggle.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that beneath that sentiment, the on-chain signals are actually, they're conflicting. You've got some analysts seeing maybe bullish patterns, but, and this is concerning, there's this detail. 5 addresses funded through Tornado Cash. You know, the sanctioned mixer spent about $4.28 million to buy PUPE tokens. That definitely raises some pretty significant red flags about illicit finance potentially being involved.
Yeah, that's a really stark contrast to the kind of polarized social stuff we see, isn't it? You look at Twitter and it's just this like absurdly bullish hype machine, unverified Elon Musk claims flying around, predictions like PP replacing the US dollar by 2040. I mean, it's most comical. But then you jump over to Reddit and it's completely the opposite. Just shitcoins, pure gambling.
Exactly. It really shows how the narrative itself gets kind of weaponized. But that whole pure meme idea that's now facing a new kind of threat, an emerging one, what you might call utility frogs. Things like NeoPepe, which has a Certic audit, a DAO, or Little Pepe, actually building its own layer 2 blockchain. So this creates a real strategic dilemma for the original PPE, doesn't it? Do they evolve, add utility, and maybe betray that core useless identity, or do they stay pure and risk, technological stagnation?
That is a fascinating challenge for PPE, but I wonder, for these utility frogs, is there also a risk? Like, by adding utility, do they lose that viral, pure meme magic that made the original PE so powerful?
That's a critical tension, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that dilemma for PKE, evolve or stay pure, really highlights one side of this whole meme coin. Coin. On the other side, you've got meme, and that's a completely different animal. It launched with explicit corporate backing, right, from 9G's Memeline project.
Yeah,
it's a really profound contrast. PPE promised basically nothing, delivered this huge cultural wave. Meme came with this sort of implicit promise of utility, among tokens within the Memeline ecosystem. But its market performance, it's been catastrophic. We're talking a staggering, 92.77% decline over the past year.
Wow. 92.7%, that's just a brutal number. It really underlines that execution risk you mentioned. What do you think went so wrong there?
Well, it really just highlights the intense execution risk involved when a corporate structure tries to capture that sort of chaotic meme energy. There was clearly an expectation of utility being delivered, and it hasn't happened. And that's left investors holding the bag with a really severe loss.
Okay, so bringing this all together, what's the key takeaway here for you, the listener, the potential investor? It really feels like the central dilemma, right? Are you betting on pure culture, like with PP? Or is it more of a venture-style bet on utility and execution, like meme was supposed to be?
Precisely. That's the core tension. And if you zoom out a bit, look at the broader market. We're actually seeing serious talk now about a spot meme coin ETF, which might sound like, legitimacy, mainstream adoption. But honestly, it's a real double-edged sword for the ecosystem. It could bring a lot of regulatory heat. Plus, we're seeing the rise of things like political memes, that P-Trump variant, for example, which adds another layer of complexity.
Yeah, and all of this happens under that ever-present shadow of potential regulatory scrutiny hanging over the entire crypto sector.
Indeed. It's quite something. The joke, quote-unquote, has become this serious multi-billion-dollar market. Which leads to, I think, the most important closing thought for you, whether you're drawn to the pure culture side or the promised utility. The absolute paramount importance is due diligence, always. And it really starts with that fundamental step, verifying those contract addresses. Seriously, check the address. Avoid the scams, avoid the confusion. That simple check can save you a world of financial pain.